warm because it is cold everywhere.
Yep.
What are you talking about? It's only 33 degrees out here.
It's so cold we got centimeters of snow.
Wow.
Centimeters. Wow.
I haven't even gotten that.
I mean, we saw snow fall from the sky.
Wow.
Half my coworkers in town, since we're all work from home, were doing the whole, on this side of Tucson, has it snowed yet? And it's like, guys, north side, we ain't got shit. We see the fluff in the sky, but it ain't hitting the ground.
Well, at least you could see it.
And we did get like 2 feet up in the mountains, so that was nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
Lemon
is
got
nice.
pretty. Yeah,
Oh,
Lemon
was
got
it that
pretty hammered.
much? No,
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was even that much.
And if they got it naturally, that means they can turn on the snow machines.
I did get a call from the alarm company that apparently my work lost power and they lost communication with us,
Oh no.
with our building.
Huh.
Well, fortunately, it's not my problem. I'm like 5th on the list and no one else answered the phone, so.
Silly you.
Yeah.
And hopefully everybody's got Monday off. I mean, I'm working Monday, but it's going to be like not working because everybody we work with is closed.
I'm pretty sure I'm working Monday.
I have it off, but I'm going to be in Atlanta.
Yeah,
Woohoo.
I have it off.
It's actually a
Why?
good question. I should look.
I do have it off.
I mean, generally the state doesn't do it, but the state kind of does it if you're a state or federal employee, so.
I'm in the service industry. I do not have that day off.
Yeah.
I'm
Boo.
working.
Most people don't, so.
I'm working 10 till 7.
Yeah, most people
That's
don't
a
have
long
it off
day.
unless you're federal or what.
I only have 2 days a week that are that long, but it's 8 hours of giving the stretches and 1 hour for a lunch break.
Oh, that's not bad then, I guess.
Yeah, I only do that Monday, Wednesday, and then I work Friday, Saturday, like half or a little more than half days. That's it.
Oh.
It's a little more than part time, but not quite full time.
Just enough so you get benefits or just enough so you don't?
No benefits.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, it's a small company though, so they don't even offer benefits.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like I'm missing out on anything.
No.
Well, I mean, I am, but I'm not.
But it's good that you work for a small company. They're always easier to deal with.
Yeah, for the most part, I'd say that's true.
They're also the worst at abusing employees' rights.
That's true too.
This is true.
like real bad.
Yeah, they haven't. That hasn't happened up to this point, anyway.
Well, fingers crossed, you know, they
Yeah.
keep being cool and don't be douchey.
Let's hope it stays that way.
So let's see. Scrolling through the Skype chat, we opted for the light freighter that has a hover car on board it that is church issued.
Guess we're working for the church for our artifact retrieval.
I mean, the nice thing is, it also means your ship has church, immunity, diplomatic immunity with the church.
Right.
Would you call that church immunity, or would that be church sanctuary?
I think sanctuary works.
Sanctuary.
Does this religion offer sanctuary?
It definitely offers sanctuary. Speaking of religion, because of course in the setting, it is basically, Warhammer 40k gods. The gods are really not good gods; they're really demons, basically. But the church sacrifices to save you, because the church is nice like that,
Yes.
right, church guys?
We
Yeah.
sacrifice ourselves so that you don't go to purgatory and hell.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go to purgatory and hell anyway because I don't have a soul.
Oh, look who's getting hopeful.
That's true. But we do have one other person with a soul.
And don't forget the
And-
masses.
And all of the masses, exactly, I was going to say, and all the people that we interact with.
Because Starcana definitely has a messed up religious system. But it is nice to know that all the planets in all the galaxy, except for a certain group of dragon warlords, agree that the gods are the same everywhere, and you don't want to get their attention.
And that is weird.
And if need be, I totally put a handout in there that's got the gods.
Speaking of in there, I don't think I was invited to the game.
Oh, I could have swore you were, but let me shoot you. I put the link in the Skype chat here, but let me go ahead and I'll get a fresh one for you so you don't have to go mining up the
You
wazoo
didn't send
to
him a
find it.
personal invite, so he felt
Oh, I
slighted.
just
That wasn't good enough to just have
I
a general
found it. Never mind.
door to the.
No, I just overlooked it. I'm fine now. I apologize.
The Saturday night shit talk starts. I see the way it is. And just in case, I'm pasting it in there right now. Just had to jump in. I was almost going to paste it in the Roll20 chat, which would do you zero good.
Right?
There you go. It should jump you right on in there.
I
So
think
let's see. You've got a church-issued light freighter that's got its own hover car on board. We know that's a truism in the game here for Session 0. Let's see. Did I have any other polls other than the one I just dropped into there today?
It's just so it's been a way back.
Yep. So much prep work that we actually didn't do any prep work yet, except for I think, David and Joseph, plotting. I mean, it's great plot having you guys make your decision of, hey, we're going to have a duo.
Right?
It's like, so, this is going to have some church bases here.
It sounded fun. Had some character.
So I totally threw out 4 plot. Holy crap, looks like, I see what you were saying, Josephs. I voted on a couple things, but apparently one definitely skyrocketed ahead, which was the artifact retrieval. That the Church of the Valeric has learned of a powerful artifact hidden in an unexplored system beyond the edge. The priest, the paladin, and the driver, because those are the only careers I thought we had for sure, are chosen for a sacred mission to retrieve this artifact. However, they are not the only ones seeking its power. The journey takes them through treacherous territories, encountering rival factions and testing their resolve against unknown dangers of the uncharted regions. Now, the question is, do you guys want to add either one of those number 2 spots, since it looks like Divine Prophecy and Colonial Uprising got a tie for number 2? Do we want to add Divine Prophecy on top of the artifact? I mean, it's a church
sure.
for an artifact. I think that's kind of implied.
I think we could probably lump all 3 together. What do you think?
Well, except for one's in a war somewhere, so else.
True.
See, the 3 scenarios I wrote up were actually the Uprising and the Prophecy. I basically made a bunch of scenarios I rolled up for space opera with Starcana with those, and then I'm like, just to be safe, I'll throw in the artifact retrieval and Cold War rekindled because I was totally watching Indiana Jones YouTube
Yeah.
videos. I'm like, that has to be an option, right?
Right?
I had a quick question. You mentioned a driver or a pilot. Is that Christopher?
I was assuming somebody was taking a pilot.
Well, I was
I-
making more of a blazer, which is more of like a ground
More
guy,
like a survivalist
like
kind
a
of guy.
scout,
Trailblazer.
like a scout, trailblazer, survivalist type. Like he can drive, but he's not a pilot.
I can totally be a driver.
Well, driver would be you then, because you're the driver. You're driving. That's ground vehicle.
Yeah,
But
I
we
would
don't-
drive, but the pilot
But-
is what we're lacking.
That's what
Yeah,
I meant. I meant
Oh.
pilot.
Yeah, we don't have a pilot. Then, unless somehow Joseph has that ability,
Nope.
but I
Two
would
of you
not think
just
so.
go up
I
and
can-
say a prayer and push some buttons. It's in the five gods' hands now.
Yeah.
I can be a pilot.
So that would mean a pilot, a scout, and two
Come on.
zealots.
Does that fall with? Does piloting fall within what your career was,
Me?
Christopher? Yeah.
Well, my career was unformed. Not necessarily, but I can adapt.
Okay.
Um,
Because I know for mine, piloting is only too green for me. So, and not a career. So, I mean, as long as it's just simple, get in it, go to somewhere, and get out. We're just fine.
Well, anybody can do that.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
Just
My-
remember, we remember that the Jedi at the beginning of Episode 1 had a ship. Neither of them put points in piloting. Do you know what happened to their ship? It got blown up in the first 10 seconds.
why would anybody choose to attack the church and risk the wrath of the gods? I mean, we are fine.
Yeah.
The worst part is the wrath of the gods or just their notice.
Well, true. It is true. It is just the notice, but you wouldn't want either. So,
I mean, that is the one key fact there with the fact that the church is putting it upon their own shoulders to sacrifice themselves to protect the rest of you people.
yep.
You people.
Except those
We will.
draconic raider assholes.
Like me.
Unfortunately, we will spend the rest of our eternity in hell for you.
That's sacrifice right there.
yeah, I'm not going to feel guilty.
Big question is why?
Somebody must have the calling and take that upon themselves for the masses.
I mean, he's got a point. So we have a very eclectic list of races or species and abilities. So, who wants to go first with what they've come up with? Or if they not come up with anything yet, they're totally, character creation neutral.
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I'm in the middle of radically changing mine, so I'd rather not go first.
Okay.
Oh. That's fine. The paladin will step forward and take the place. So Thalor is a Bernard, so big cuddly teddy bear. 6'3", and light brown, dark brown kind of shoulders, dark green eyes. Like I said, he is a paladin and has his Starblade and paladin armor. And he will shield you from the gaze of the gods.
Aw, and he's a big old teddy bear.
Yeah. That's about all I have for him actually right now. I just realized I didn't fill out any of the personality stuff, but
And of course, the nice thing is you're a pack hunter and you have keen senses.
oh yeah. Yes,
You're a natural
backcountry.
forger.
Yeah, so natural. Yeah, my species things are survival skills. So I get 1 rank of survival for free. Keen sense. So blue to my perception and vigilance, and then pack hunter, blue when another party member is engaged.
Cool.
I'm Fuzzy Wuzzy the priest.
Really?
Absolutely. I'm also an Urinar, so I have the exact same bonuses as Dave, but I am
Oh
playing a
God, your
priest.
cuddle buddies at the monastery.
Ay.
We go before the gods, bearing our souls.
I can barely bear it. Oh, the
Yeah.
humanity.
As a priest, the god that I work for is Uendel, the keeper of secrets.
Well, actually, we don't work for any of them. We protect against all of them.
Well,
They're your patron saints.
You tend to choose a god.
You've got your patron saint of evilness, of whatever your emotion is.
Yeah. Prior to this assignment, I worked in the archives in the Black Cathedral, or the Obsidian Cathedral, which was quite an internship.
I was gonna say that's not ominous at all.
Yeah, it was quite an internship. But now I use the knowledge I gained in that time to go find stuff.
And of course, you both have access to magic abilities because it's Starcana. So
Yep.
it's magic in space. Except for, I will be asking you guys on your individual opinions on the whole Starcana phenomena. Not the churchly powers, but for those unanointed. Because remember, across the
Phenomenon.
galaxy now, there's Starcana happening randomly
Right.
like sorcerers in a fantasy setting. I mean, that would be kind of horrific. I mean, if you think about how well the church has kept the lid on things for so long, and now you have yo-ho cultists popping up with supernatural powers that we're not sure where they come from.
Yep. Obviously would attract the attention of the gods.
In a light-hearted version of 40K. I mean, when I read through this setting the first time, I'm totally like, this is like a 40K that's less depressing. And has actual dragons.
Actual dragons.
Yep.
Actual dragons. Because everybody wants a dragon pirate. Just saying.
And if you have the pictures down at the bottom, you can see my lovely paladin.
Well, you've got a picture already?
I
Session
do.
0 and you got a picture? Someone's trying to get some extra points there.
I have a picture too, actually.
I had that picture a long time ago. Pretty.
Nice picture.
Thank you. I thought so.
Now the question is, I know since the Priest and Pally totally had some side-by-side homework they worked on making their characters sorted together, are you guys related or are you just friends at the church?
That's a great question.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you
And-
a
I never knew
Raistlin
my
and
father.
Strom combo?
Yeah, I never got that far into discussion on that.
Yeah.
It's still session 0. You have time.
Yeah, maybe cousins.
Yeah. Kissing cousins.
God.
So wrong. So wrong. So, needless to say, our priest and paladin are probably going to be good, pack hunters together for the church.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense for the archaeology acquisition. So yeah, I totally think for the plot, that the part that's not the player characters, of course, because I totally had to have that argument with the GM recently, because they're like, but the plot is no, guys, the players are your plot. What you could call the plot is actually the extenuating incidents that causes the players to come together and do their thing and become plot. So artifact retrieval, and we'll tack on there the divine prophecy, which may lead to an uprising somewhere. And we're going to ignore the Cold War rekindled. Which is good, because that's too meta plot.
Yeah.
And since we've got a priest that's been crawling around in the very, very dark, dank archives, I wonder if that's where the prophecy came from.
Good question.
Could be.
And it'll be a horrible copy paste, because that's what Roll20 does with copy paste. So, it's the divine prophecy. There will be at some point a colonial uprising, probably the first place you take that relic to, whatever it does. It's going to jack up some colony just because I'm a jerk that way. And if we're lucky, there'll be some horrendous rolls causing you to have to stop off at a colony somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh no, someone has struck out our hyperdrive. Stop at that desert planet. And y'all know me. No desert planets if we can avoid them whatsoever. So, let's see the big monster list of Session 0 questions. Which I only threw a tiny list of setting-specific ones. So, is there any particular tone we want for the campaign besides, space opera with magic? Do we want to go more cyberpunk, more horror? You will notice in the handouts I added the Starcana's rules where they talk about using Shadow of the Beanstalk for cybernetics as well as gene mods and for hacking. So think about that as I totally call Evan out, who's on mute and probably has been talking away, about what his character is.
Nope, just listening.
Okay.
Well, it's Viridianix, who is a Dracon from Terrace, and he's a full wing, so he can spit acid and fly. It's pretty cool like that. But he is he was kind of a big game hunter, but then he started traveling around and kind of got the bug for scouting out new areas and new challenges, and so he's basically your hardened gruff survivalist that doesn't care too much for being around civilization any more than he needs to be.
And you went with the Terrace for the acid breath?
Yep. And he's got relatively athletic, and he's got these iridescent scales that are so green that they appear black in dimmer light.
And which career did you go for?
He's a blazer, so he's
Yeah,
his skills are essentially survivalist, scout. That's kind of what he does. That's what he got into this whole traveling abroad thing to do. He figures he represents his people well by going where everybody else is scared to go.
See, now I'm totally going to have a question for you. How did the church talk you into this expedition? Are you a prisoner of the church?
No, they presented him
He knows.
with a challenge that, not that he knows of anyway. They presented it as a challenge to go places, see things, do things that nobody else had the guts to do. So he signed on.
See, here, I was giving you some drama plot point, and you go with just the easy one. If I'm a merc, they hired me.
But more to the point, they kind of played on his desire to see something new, do something that nobody else had done before, to kind of prove himself and prove his people.
No one's done this before. Ignore the fact that there's artifacts from a previous civilization. There are no one of consequence.
Well, maybe no
Gotta
one
recover.
that's. I mean, the recovery, it's going to be a major challenge.
Mm-hmm. And you never know who you may be running into.
Yep, and so you get these Villithics that don't know how to scout through the woods, so they need somebody with some skills.
They'll just ask their gods to pray the foliage away.
Yeah, and we all know that's not going to happen, so that's where I come in.
It's all fun and games until they pray and the gods notice the foliage, and then all of a sudden the trees start rotting of a blight.
Or
Sorry,
start
guys, the gods take their
grabbing
time.
people and eating them.
Now the question is, Christopher, did we buy you enough time, or do you need more time?
Well, I've got a question. The way space travel works in this system, can an AI be a pilot, or does it have to? Does there have to be an organic brain?
Yeah, AI can totally be a pilot.
Okay.
Take that,
Well,
Andromeda. I always
excellent.
laughed at that one, that only organics could do the slipstream thing.
Well then, yeah, I'll just change from a breaker to a jockey. Model TA-1100, aka Seraphim. That's its code name in the secret robot. Pardon me, the secret AI underground.
The AI uprising waiting to happen.
Yes. The free AI movement. I don't talk about it. It was originally a pilot for asteroid mining, but it was built with a bit too much intelligence and got bored, and was going to strike out on its own when it was liberated by pirates who used it. Who used it until there was a poorly timed raid, and the poorly timed raid that the pirates retreated and left the robot there because it wasn't important.
It was
And it was
cargo.
found right. And it was found by the church and is pretending to serve the church, all the while serving as using its travel as a pilot for the church to serve as the messenger for the secret underground AI movement.
Ooh.
I wish I had written that down.
I
But
mean,
I have
think about it. Having a robot pilot is really handy in case, like, say, life support goes out. At least the cargo will get back.
Right?
yeah.
It's an autopilot with a +1. It's mobile.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm okay with the robot pilot.
But I don't have a character sheet, and I actually can't access my character sheet, Jim.
No, because I didn't notice you log in yet, so I wasn't able to give you access yet.
Oh,
But I can do that right now.
thank you.
Here you are. All right, you got access. It's the AHEOZ.
There we go. Thank you. But I have to. I'm still revamping all the numbers because.
Oh, no problem. This is session 0. This is for hashing out the ideas.
Thank you.
So, is there any skills anybody wants to be like, hey guys, I'll take this skill. Don't worry about putting more than a rank in it. If you do, you're wasting your points. Blah, blah, blah. I think the priest totally wants all the piloting skills. But,
The pilot. Yeah.
No, but in terms of things, I do have access to medicine as a career skill, and I do have 1 rank in it, so not terrible at that.
Yeah, I mean, things are going to be, just like, stealth, survival, maybe a little bit of driving. I know we've got a jockey, so maybe I'll make that kind of a secondary thing. But mainly, I'm going to be a keep you alive in the wilderness kind of guy.
I'm the muscle man. So, athletics, fighting, shielding.
chopping down with your star swords.
Yes.
Yeah, when it comes to combat, like mainly I'm a sniper type. But I'm
perfectly
pretty nasty
happy.
up close and personal.
I'm perfectly happy up front or far away, because up front I have 4 soak, 2 melee defense, and 12 wounds.
Damn. Oh, did you get the staff?
Yeah, I got the Vilific staff.
Nice.
For that defensive one. Tasty.
That way you can lean on your staff.
Yeah, but also because, oh my god, the way it affects her divine attacks.
Yeah.
Divine attack plus 4 damage. Also, you get the first range upgrade for free.
Nice.
It's like, oh my god.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, I have a soak of 5. My armor only gives me soak, so.
Yeah. Yeah, so I can also hit things with divine attacks as well as just my bare hands. But
Waka waka.
Let me lay my hands upon you and burn.
Yeah, I'm basically my abilities, I'm a 4 brawn. So actually my soak is wrong. It should be 6.
Jesus.
Yeah, because 4 brawn and then 2 from the armor. So, and then intellect and willpower are 3.
Let's see. I have 3s in brawn, agility, and cunning, and 2s in the rest.
So yeah, my divine and Starcana is only 3 or one. Yeah, one yellow, 2 greens right now. So
you can unleash it, but you might not control it. That's fine.
yeah.
Yeah, my stat line is 3-2-3-2-4-2.
You know,
Nice.
I will totally drop it out there for our Blazer. You may want to get driving because our jockey might get gunnery. So in case you want to someday mount a weapon on that hover car.
Oh yeah, I will end up probably taking it, but at rank like at 0 XP, I get 4 ranks and that's it. But I'll
Yep,
take
it's very minimal on the beginning skills.
yeah, I'm super minimal, but eventually I'll put one in there.
Yeah, I
And-
have absolutely no talents. So
And keep your
Neither do
pilot
I.
alive because he's also, I think, the only one with mechanics as a career skill. So not only is he the only one that can fly your ship, he's the only one that can fix your ship in a pinch.
He's also the only one who can fix himself.
There is that. Teach your team how to use the repair patches.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I could fix you up. It wouldn't be a great job, but I could do it. It's okay.
yeah, I got 3 green and mechanics.
Same.
I mean, that's not shabby. That's above average.
It's good enough to know that you need to kick the machine.
It's good enough for
To the old Fonzie thump.
Like, it looks like this thing is not working anymore.
Oh, I'll be right back. Gotta go grab the plug for the laptop. It's saying feed me juice. Why are you recording sessions here? It's more battery than just playing WoW.
Right? Yeah. It's like, this thing is not working. I need to get inside and see what's happening. Let me get my sword. I got to get through the panel. Let's see. What else do I got?
Even though she should be asleep. I walk
That's
in
funny.
the room and she starts talking. She's like, because I joked with her, I thought the laptop was fully charged up, which should have given me like an hour to 2 hours of power. And instead, apparently I was wrong. Okay, got the laptop plugged into there, but I don't have there plugged into the laptop.
Yeah, the only place we have trouble, if I recall, I think it's the Blood Nebula, right? As a church, we're like attack on site by the people in that region.
By the certain scaled people in that region.
Yeah.
I mean, that totally may be why you have one of their people on your ship.
Right.
Hey, in our defense, we attack just about anybody who invades our territory.
Including each other.
That too. So it's
There's a
nothing
reason
personal.
why their clans are, split by color and type, because, they're a bunch of
Right.
racist douchebags to themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, they are the Klingon/Space Vikings of the setting.
Right.
The best at what I do, but what I do ain't pretty.
And of course, then we've got the setting-specific skills, which is knowledge skills of culture or science, depending on how sci-fi you want to take it, as well as Starcana, which is the collective magic skill for the setting. Because they decided to make life easier. And then there's a whole bunch of talents that are setting specific. And a whole
Yeah.
bunch that are taken from all the other setting books, which work too. So you have unlimited talent.
Someday I can afford a talent.
Yeah, like I said, I have none, so that was not happening.
And that totally leads me up to like a question further on down the list, but it's obligations. Since the setting doesn't have a favor or an obligation or duty mechanic, do you guys want to use obligations? I mean,
I was
I'm always
thinking yes. I think obligation's always fun.
because it gives you some cacher experience or cash and experience, and it gives some backstory. Because remember,
not
we're
gonna-
going to be needing some antagonists early on.
Yeah, but I mean, we already have a mission. I wonder how Genesis would actually work if obligation was generated like in the process of gameplay, and like you could like present a decision where it's like you can have a chunk of experience right now if you put this down as an obligation through some narrative thing, like if we make an agreement or something.
Well, you could always do that. That's part of just normal gameplay. Is the unofficial obligation parts. This would be something from the get go. You front load it.
And also character specific.
Yeah,
I
I
will point out
don't know.
there's no natural humans in the group, so no stealing my destiny points, or I mean story
Oh,
points,
right.
or we'll call them
Um,
star points.
I mean, I think I already have a built-in obligation, but it didn't give me anything, so I'm
What's that?
obligated to the Philithic Church. But that didn't give me anything.
Well, I mean that's what I'm saying. If you guys want to do an additional obligation, for 5 or 10 obligation
Eh,
points,
the church is enough of an obligation.
you can always add more to it, like specific sect of the church you owe obligation to.
Hmm.
Totally leaving that one up to you guys. Normally, everybody will like gobble up those extra experience or cash points.
Yeah, personally, I'm all for it, but that's just my suggestion.
Says the Viking bandit.
I'm happy to have. I mean, I kind of have a built-in obligation to the underground AI railroad, as it were. So I'm in for obligations.
And nobody's required to take it anyway.
Very true.
That is true.
So is that a yes or a yay or a nay?
I mean, I'm fine with it being in there.
Just
I vote yay.
Our sworn paladin says, "But I shall take no oath beyond the oath I took to the church."
Yeah, no, like I said, I can look and see in the church story stuff, but yeah, I don't know of
I mean,
an additional.
there is the ones that are just like excellence in your chosen field. Like it would be the obligation of you don't refuse a personal challenge. Could totally be something as easy as that for an obligation.
Yeah, I'll have to think on it. That's one thing. I don't think the priests, they get off easy. They don't have to have like the active devotee to keep their gear and shit.
And then let's see. So is there any specific tone or theme you want the artifact to take? Like, God, what was that sci-fi one with the zombies? The artifacts on the ship, and it makes the undead, everyone turn undead or mutant or
Oh,
dead
um,
dead space or dead silence or something like that.
Oh yeah, Dead Space.
Dead
I mean, if
space,
it's
yeah.
evil, that even makes more of a reason we got to go protect everybody from it.
So
Mhm.
that would be like a horror tone that you want to pick it up. If you want to go cyberpunk, is it maybe like an artificial intelligence? Don't tell our pilot. Or like, high fantasy. Guess what? It's a primitive planet that takes you totally Star Trek into Ren Fair, mode.
I
Because
mean,
time traveler's weekend is
I
always the best.
I don't think we're super set up for a cyberpunk sort of theme. But like just relic hunting, especially since the whole galaxy has the exact same pantheon of gods, means you'll find relics of these gods anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I mean, could be a Starcana enhancement.
Yeah,
or,
it could
or
be
focus.
that too. Or it
Starcana
could be
focus is
something
okay.
that just turned on in some mysterious way, because we all know if a science is sufficiently advanced, it looks like magic. Could be a Starcana engine. Good
Right?
luck putting that on your ship and flying it back. Okay, so are you guys wanting multi-part episodes for sessions, or do you want to keep it episodic where each story is kind of tied up into one session?
I prefer the first one where there can be multi-part.
Yeah.
So
That-
there's a little bit longer
I'm
story.
okay
That
with
is
that.
one of my
Yeah.
preferences. Where you
Yeah,
get
that's mine too.
part 1 of 3 to get the story going, because we all know how one session may not be enough to get the meat and potatoes done.
Yeah,
Exactly.
especially with us.
Yep.
Good God.
Yeah. No, definitely multiple.
Then we've got character creation. No worry about restricting any races, classes, or any of that stuff, because you're all over the place and I like it. How will the characters be tied to the world or plot? Well, because obviously the church said so. Sounds about right. Right, guys?
Yep.
Exactly.
More or less.
Church said so. The man in the fish hat said so. Funny thing is, the Pope is probably one of the shark race. The shark man in the fish hat said so. Okay, world building. Is there anything you guys want to throw out there that you want to be truisms in the setting? You always have that obligation if you want to just throw something out there.
Were there some? Let's see, where was the?
Where was the MacGuffin? It's going to be out in the outer edge. On a planet not called Miranda. Because I just rewatched Firefly.
So one of the things is that, like, do I get this right? In this campaign setting, there's already like generally a lot of interspecies tension, pretty much like all the time, or
Well, about 15 years ago, there was a great war where everybody
right.
lost their shit, and pretty much the wardens and the church were the only ones trying to keep the galaxy chill.
Mm.
And so yeah, things can be kind of hairy from time to time, and there's a lot of speciesism going on in space out there, because people don't
Because
care
people are bitter.
what your species is based on, carbon or silicon. Speciesism happens. I mean, just look at your folks with the dragons, different colored dragons fighting each other. Come on, guys.
Just a warlike people in general.
All we know is one of the dragon species got a hold of Shakespeare, and we now will have a episode where the guy will come out and say, "Let loose the dogs of war," and fire some torpedoes at you guys. Oh wait, channeling Star Trek again.
Well, that's okay because it's just that his race will spend the rest of eternity in Zybar's hell for waging war and such.
The long screen swipes that will have you guys in space travel will be basically our draconian friend being apophatized that you need to repent now.
Well, you don't want to get lonely down there, do you?
That's the sacrifice I make.
I still go with why.
Because it's been called upon me.
It's a calling.
I've been blessed by the gods with powers to sake and make that sacrifice.
And since I happen to be there copy pasting it, there are some new qualities for the setting. You've got EMP, which is basically it's basically an ion kind of attack. There's Forked, which is weapons that have prongs. So it basically becomes kind of like a linked.
Oh, but with an adjacent target.
Yeah. And I'm totally putting those in a handout for you. And then we have classic stun setting. I don't know why they posted it in there, but they did. And then thrown, which some melee weapons can actually be chucked.
Officially, anyway.
Yeah. So as I finish the copy paste there, I'll go back to the questions. And I will even show that to players. I will probably add the regular qualities to that too, so you guys have access to them all. So, party dynamics. It sounds like we're kind of coming together with another repeat of Because the Church Said So. Is there a preferred style of play? Heavy on the role play or focused on combat? Yada yada. Me, I always like to toe the line between the two. I want to get you guys role playing as much as possible, but that's just me.
I was gonna say I prefer a mix.
Role playing is good, but we definitely do seem a little more kitted out for killing things.
This is true.
Yeah, I like it 50-50.
It's a little more Star Wars and a little less Star Trek.
Right.
So, any house rules that you guys want? I mean, I'm good with rules as written for Genesys. It's pretty easy.
I think for the most part, yeah. I can't think of anything
other than
in
the
particular.
total rules that they suggested you use, which I'm like, I totally like those rules anyway. So yes, those are part of the Genesys rules set, in my opinion.
Which ones?
And then the using Android Shadow of the Beanstalk for slicing.
Oh yeah, which nobody does anyway.
Yeah, nobody really does it other than a single roll, because then things bog down to one character for an hour and everybody gets bored. And but cybernetics and Gmodding, because we want to get that dragon genetically modified somehow. Tentacles. Need more tentacles. And how will character death or failure be handled? Well, with the Genesys system, it takes 150 on a 100 roll to get death to happen. So how often have we really seen insta-kill happen? I've seen it once in game.
I was going to say, I think maybe once. Wasn't that a Rancor?
Yep. But I've actually seen a player get insta-killed.
Well, no,
That
I
was...
think didn't we lose a player to an insta kill on a
Oh,
Rancor?
shit, you're right. Okay, so it has happened twice.
Yeah.
Because I had a con game where a person had 3 crits and they rolled 100 with a weapon that had Vicious 3. And the sad thing was the rest of the group abandoned that person behind. And they're
Wow.
like, go, I got this. And rolled a double crit. Would you please roll plus
And
50?
dead.
But it's a con game, and so it's fun to die in con games. When you're at a convention, you play it like you stole it. And player expectations is the next pair of questions. Is what do you hope to get out of this campaign? And is there anything specific you'd like to see or avoid? You know, like in case you have spider phobia or anything like that.
Actually, I have spiderphilia. I want us to only fight spiders.
Space spiders it is. They
Just
come
only
with 10
spiders,
legs.
nothing else.
Skitter, skitter, skitter.
Yeah.
You just hear the scratching.
They,
in fact,
they
all
die.
of our characters are now half spiders. It's just a
Ah,
drider
jeez.
party. Dave and I, bear driders.
Bear
You were
driders.
unaware that to guarantee one way or another the mission succeeding, the church injected you with spider eggs. So if you fail at your mission, your corpses will then erupt with spiders to protect the artifact.
Jesus.
How does that work with me?
Well,
you'll be
you will
eaten
just be
by the
covered
spiders.
in webs, and the
You'll
spiders
be a
will live in
spider.
you, and you are the mobile spidery delivery system.
Ah.
Yeah. Or you'll be a spider cyborg.
Spiderboard.
You know, they will cover you in cobwebs to make you look like a mummy. And then some cocky alien will get their flamer weapon out and torch you, and it really just sets off the cobwebs, causing the army of spiders inside you to flee out, and you to be walking around saying, I'm a robot, dumbass. And then comes the communication. What is our preferred communication method? Facebook, Skype group?
Oh.
How do you guys want to do that?
I mean, it seems like we're doing Skype.
I mean, Skype chat works for me, as long as everybody knows to check it every now and then.
I mean, I have it on my phone, so I get the alerts.
Yep,
I
always
definitely
do
do
that
not.
as my backup.
I do not have Skype on my phone because I don't live in the year 2010.
Okay,
Well,
Discord
I only have
jockey.
it on my phone because of the groups here.
Because it is handy in a pinch to whip out Skype app and jump in the call with a pair of headphones if the computer's not working.
I have done that once.
I've done that on occasion. I've totally done the Kelly, start up the Skype channel. I'm jumping in on my phone.
Yeah, but mostly because people are talking in it, so.
Mm-hmm. And then, so Skype is fine. And scheduling bi-weekly on Saturday. Everybody good with that? Same bat time, same bat channel?
Mm-hmm.
Do you wild and fragile players need safety tools? Do you need an X card? Do you need a hug from HR? I know most of you guys, so I can be a jerk like that.
I mean, have we had one before?
I mean, I've thrown the options out there and people don't usually pick it. I mean, it's funny because I totally pick it because, like, the first game I ever played with Ben Warner from World of Do, he likes using the X card because if the players start saying something he's touchy on, or he wants to just screen swipe to the action because they're kibitzing, he'll just sit there and point at the X card while everyone's chit-chatting or on their phones or whatnot and wait to see how long they do that. And I thought that was funny, you know, using it as a children, back to point. But that's just me. I'm a jerk that way. I got no problem getting the boat horn out and going. Meow. Or as I joke with folks, that's when the ninjas kick in the door. So so is that a no? We don't need any safety tools, and we'll just keep each other in check if we need to.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not
At some
much
point,
problem.
somebody's gonna be like, Joseph, Jim, get a room. Put your green alien space girl away and just get a room.
But
Joseph
Yeah.
was
there's
quiet, so
no
I had to
room
throw
that's
his
big
name out
enough
there.
for all the spiders.
The spider.
Yeah, no. I'm pretty easygoing, so I'm not too worried about it.
Okay, so
All
here
right.
comes the Starcana specific questions of the how familiar are you guys with the Starcana setting? And y'all have the book, I think both books, because there's another second book that's kind of fluffy but more adventure-y. And you guys all have access to a copy of that one, so you can bury yourself, and that's how in-depth your character is aware of things. So if you don't want to read it, you can totally see your character is oblivious to anything that happened off-world in my homeland.
Mm.
I
I
read
don't.
everything about the Vilific Church and pretty much nothing else.
Now you just need to go read some 40K Inquisition stuff and use those together. This planet must be burned. They have a movie based on one of the gods. Stop the heresy from spreading.
Right?
Let's see. Campaign focus on known space and the edge. Well, since we now know that we're going to Beyond the Edge, that's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to make some shit up, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yep.
Gonna make you work for it.
That's what
Yep.
those
So
2
you can
weeks are
always
for. I'd be
can
like,
always kind of have it in known and then kind of transition in and out of
well,
unknown.
that's the tasty one. Is as you guys are leaving, which part of space do we want to have as our last known universe part of space?
I mean, sounds like we should be coming from the Obsidian Cathedral.
Ho 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 ho!
Wow. Coming from the Heartland, huh?
I mean, that was my last posting, and I
Yeah,
assume
yeah.
that's where you came from because
Yeah,
all of your
yeah.
battle gear had to get blessed.
Yeah. Well, not blessed, but forged. I forged my own stuff
You helped
and
forge your own
didn't get it
things.
blessed.
He got to swing the hammer while the Forge Master was actually doing the real work.
Yeah. Well,
You 3 cadets, pick up those hammers and hammer until I get tired. And just
Look
remember,
at me.
if you bastards retire, we get your sword back.
yeah. And armor.
Yep, we will strip you naked. So, is there any preference for political intrigue, exploration, or dealing with the aftermath of the Cold War? Well, I get the feeling the Cold War is mostly out the window right now.
Yeah.
That
I
option
also
got
don't
no
think
votes.
I also don't think any of us have the presence necessary for politics.
So we're saying definitely we need some political intrigue. Talk to the Paladin. He's my PR man.
I can coerce.
I can also coerce.
I
I
meant
mean,
with
I
the
do have
sword.
leadership, but I only have 2 green, but it is trained.
So he can tell you guys what to do. He's just not that good at it yet.
Right?
I've got leadership and negotiation.
Yeah, I have coercion and leadership.
I got
Those
nothing.
two go together.
I'll either command you if you're a part of the church to do something, or I'll
Browbeat you into it.
browbeat you to do it. Yeah, and threaten you. So you
See,
will avert your gaze or do whatever you got to make sure the gaze does not fall onto you, or else.
you start with the CO speech and you end with the drill sergeant speech.
Right?
Do what I say, or so help me, I will make the gods look at you.
No, I would still shield them. Now that might mean I send them to heaven early, but they at least were shielded from the eyes of the evil gods.
And of course, in Starcana, we have jump gates. So if anybody's a fan of Cowboy Bebop, it's basically the same idea that just stargates you from one space to another, which is nice. And your ships have faster than light travel because, after they found the gates, they figured out how to do it without the gates. But the gates are still more efficient. So
Nice.
one thing to think about it for your character is, what does your character feel about jump gates? Do you feel that they alter you in any way? Totally gonna steal from 40k going into the warp. And let's see, we can ignore that. We can ignore that. If you want, the war ended 15 years ago, so if you want to put that in your character's backstory, if you're more than 15 years, that could totally be a thing. I mean, think about it.
Probably
Mandalorian
fought in it
totally put
briefly.
the Clone Wars in his backstory. And is there any specific elements of the Blood Accords? That's basically the peace treaty that was struck in the galaxy. Or the Armistice League that interests the players in case you want some connections with factions of that type of deal. And what careers? We already got that. Do you have any ideas how your chosen career aligns with the campaign setting? As like half the group is going to say church.
I was gonna say,
Let's see.
Oh man, but just
How do your characters view the challenges faced by the colonies in the Edge, and are they drawn to assist them? I mean, church people probably do, because you're not high-ranking monkey monks yet. You could always be
we're out.
interested in starting your own little missionary group.
We're out. Protecting those on the fringe.
Mm-hmm.
Paladins.
Let's see.
The priest, he's a unique priest that he's going out and leaving the temple. But, paladins we always are out there hitting the different little communities and
Doing what you
preaching and
can.
protecting.
Well, you see, the church just can't trust you to understand what a valuable relic is.
Well, maybe that's the case, but obviously we're the ones out preaching, not you guys. So.
And the final of the big Session Zero questions is, do any of you guys have aspirations tied to the factions, powers, or personalities within the Allmark galaxy? I.e., are you wanting me to throw those bastards into the story so you guys can either hook up or go against them?
I mean, personally, I aspire to freedom for all my AI brethren.
I'm probably would be aspiring to be a crusader at some point.
That is the pinnacle of the paladins.
Yeah.
I'm basically just working to earn my keep with the church. I'm going to be with the gods when I die, so I'd like some creature comforts before that.
I'm going to hell and I know it, so this is what I deserve. Y'all made me read this book at church, and now I can't help but seeing that everywhere. Give me some of those goddamn creature comforts.
just seems awfully short-sighted.
I mean, what would you have me do?
He's
And of
sounding a lot
course-
like a heretic.
Good.
So
Yeah.
Good question. I don't know.
Would you just have me not keep people from the gaze of the gods?
Oh, I guess.
Some people
That
believe
that
misery
sounds
doesn't
like
need
heresy.
company.
Right?
And then you wonder why he was sent on this mission.
It's each own.
I mean, on the plus side, being on a church ship is really nice because, most people will not fucks with you.
Right? Except for the Dracon's face.
True. They'll kill you on sight, but
Well, I'll attempt to.
this guy on your ship is totally not going to take you to his cousins to be massacred because, you're the church. And let's also not forget in this setting, normally the church, if a planet gives the church crap, the church ends that planet one way or another until they surrender
Right.
by overwhelming
They
force.
send the Crusaders.
Mm-hmm. On the dragons' homeworlds, they have not fucked with them for some reason. They're like, nope, we'll take that one on the chin, thank you very much.
Yeah, so we won't be going to your home galaxy anytime soon.
Fine.
Sorry.
But don't
Might
At
forget,
least not. At least not in this ship.
you're pretty much space reavers, and they've got the religious iconography on the outside of the ship puts them as a target. And of course, the setting does have rules for addiction. They basically clarified on the rules. I think it's pretty much the same. Yeah, it's the same stuff as Shadow of the Beanstalk for addiction, if you want to use drugs. I don't see any really good performance-enhancing drugs in the list here, so I wouldn't bother with that setting-wise. And of course, Shadow of the Beanstalk, if we need to file off the serial numbers of any sci-fi, fantasy, or space opera stuff, we totally can. So if you need anything or want something not listed in the book, you can totally just... If you can find it in any Genesys book, we can find a way to import it. I'm like, totally check out Twilight Imperium, because that has some other stuff, too.
True.
As all of a sudden we find an evil AI that, our AI says, I liberate you! And then you realize, oh, that's why they put it in the container. It's a mine net. It's trying to eat me.
And which ship did we go with?
The Light Freighter.
Light Freighter, but
Yeah,
church
if you
one.
look on the character sheet, I actually made a group's church-supplied Light Freighter, because you guys can totally come up with a name for it. And your hover car's in there. That way you guys have access to it. And it does have a gun. It has a single double-barreled turret. So it's not unprotected.
Right.
So that's all I've got on my little Q&A list. Feels sad. No Humies on the crew.
No what?
No Humies on the crew.
Oh, yeah, no.
Why do you humans when there's dinosaurs and bears
and shark
sharks
and sharks and hedonistic little gremlins and cats?
I mean, cats are almost as common as humans, though.
Almost.
I mean,
But
you had
sharks
me with the
and
shark
bears?
people.
See, I thought about being a shark person, but I was a fish person in. I don't want to be stereotyped.
Oh, right.
You've now upgraded like a little Pokemon. You've gone from a little fish in a big tank to a big fish in no tank.
Could just have Saturday nights just be your aquatic nights.
Yeah.
Glub, glub, glub.
What life?
Though I thought their bite would be way more vicious than it is.
Oh, the shark people?
Yeah, it's +2 damage, crits on a 3. It should be critting on like a 1 or a 2 in my opinion.
Yeah, it's barely better than the claws of the cat people.
Yeah. And then has inaccurate 1 and vicious. I agree with the inaccurate, because biting somebody is awkward. But, totally upgrade that to crit on a 1 and give it a vicious 2.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is a shark's mouth the size of our shoulders.
Right.
That's not pretty.
With multiple rows of teeth and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, that's where I get the low crit number myself, whenever it's a big wicked weapon made to do lots of clippage damage.
Well, what you do is you give it crit 5, vicious 15. So every single crit is an instant kill. Just automatically. There's nothing to do about it.
And then we import those pictures I shared on Facebook of the shark animals, the amalgamations of sharks and dogs. And everyone has one of those pets walking around, a little 4-legged shark. And they all have the crit 5, watch them go.
You put the handling in wrong.
What?
Unless we have a special ship, you put in handling of 4.
Should be -1.
That's that should be the armor.
There.
Let's see, light freighter.
Well, yeah, armor's 4, silhouette's 4. Kind of
the handling
on
was
this.
0.
No, it was 4 when I looked at it.
Maybe somebody's playing it's a -1 now.
Yeah, I just fixed it, and then speed max is 3, so I guess the left one's max. That field doesn't give you.
Let me highlight it to find out. Yeah. It looks like the max is always on the left. It looks like for all the categories.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird sheet. So
yeah, I think it was another one of those sheets made for night mode.
Well, I'm in night mode.
Oh. Yeah, apparently it does not show the whole list because they got that weird icon in the background, the red, black.
Yep. All right. Well, it's all good now. So just so you know, as our pilot, you do have a -1 handling. So.
Oh.
Let me double check.
Whatever your skill is, it basically you get a 1 black setback dice.
Well, that's good to know. Thank you.
So when you're looking at skills you want to take, there are skills that will allow you to remove some of those.
Like talents.
Or talents, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
I would totally say if you have access to it, check out the Fly Casual Star Wars sourcebook for the smuggler pilots. Has lots of good talents listed in their talent trees.
The only thing with those is that the tiers are messed up.
Yeah,
because they didn't have the tier system. With Edge of the Empire.
Yeah, their tiers are slightly different, but it gives some good examples of if you want to be a fancy pilot and take away some of those black handling dice. That's usually a really good talent.
What's the book again? I need to write this down.
It's Fly Casual. It's the smuggler source book for Edge of Empire.
Okay. Is that available at Drive-Thru RPG?
Unfortunately, it's not. None of the Star Wars ones made it to digital format because EA Sports technically owns any digital gaming materials. So Fantasy Flight never made it digital, but I'll see what I can do for you. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Thank you.
Or be like Gunter and buy the whole set. One of my friends
There's
at the
also
other game's happy he finally
got
the rest of his set filled out for Star Wars.
There's also, I mean, if you have the expanded talents list, like most of them are on there anyway.
Oh,
yeah.
I think I have that.
It's just the smuggling book I like because it gives you some examples of how to fly through an asteroid field. So, and different types of space obstacles. So the pilot is aware of what he's getting into.
That's a good point.
I mean, I'll always tell you retroactively when you're in the shit, but this way gives you an idea of, as a adamant pilot, this is how you would deal in this situation. Because it never hurts to be forewarned.
Yeah, the ace pilot
stay on target.
Gives you a decent, but that can give you a decent idea of some of the skills you might want to look at in the general talent tree out of that book.
Too.
And even just the Edge of the Empire core book has the pilot.
Yeah. The smuggler pilot.
Yeah. So just gives you an idea of some of the skills you might want to look for to add,
Well,
because here it's free form as far as the you're not on a specific tree. So
Yeah, so like in the normal Star Wars, you have here's my character sheet, here's the box of talents I have to go through in a specific order. As opposed to Genesys, you just have to go with 2 tier 1s before you buy a tier 2, 2 tier 2s before you buy a tier 3.
yep.
So it really does in Genesys make it easier to min-max in regards to picking your talents to be good at what you're good at. In Star Wars, sometimes you have to take some crappy stuff just to get to the good crunchy stuff.
Yep.
Ah,
Yeah, and you don't have like unlimited access to everything.
Yeah.
right. Well, I happen to have 15 points left after my
Base setup.
characteristics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's one trait, right?
That's 3 tier 1 traits.
Oh,
Because the talents are 5 times the tier.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so for a tier 1, it's going to be 5. And then a
Tier
tier
2
2
is
is
10.
And remember, you
Yep.
have to buy 2 tier 1s before you can buy a
Right.
tier 2.
Right.
So it's
Alternatively, you can get ranks and skills.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Well, as an AI, I get a free skill in 6 of my career skills instead of 4.
Nice.
Nice.
Damn.
But you can still go up to rank 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But
So you
not
can put
3.
10 points into what you want to start out as really well at.
And
Like
then also
piloting.
I assume that also doesn't include obligation experience.
Oh,
If you're taking that.
Yeah, if you want to opt for
Because
that.
you can take 5 or 10 experience for obligation.
See how the
Or
options
cash.
come.
Yep.
I mean, on the plus side, he's been issued a ship by the church, so who needs cash when you have an entire ship?
Well,
I
I
mean,
have, not him.
I have
Yeah.
been issued
Pilot.
a ship and none of you can pilot it, so it's my ship now. I'm the captain now.
there's
Church-
there's
it's a
plenty of
church
things
ship.
there's plenty of things 2,500 credits can do.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Especially in a setting where anything fantasy, sci-fi, or cyberpunk will be available. And I will totally give you the heads up that the first half of your journey will probably have you just using one of the Stargates, because this way it speeds up the beginning of something happening.
Right.
that makes sense.
And somebody could totally try role-playing some negotiation skills at the beginning, or streetwise to try to get some extra stuff. I mean, we know the church ain't gonna streetwise, but some of the non-church members might think of doing something nefarious.
That's
Might be
not
streetwise. Know somebody in the church, right?
It's the other kind of church. You go down to the church after church.
I'm not really a people person.
As you totally do the bounty hunter thing of just give me something to shoot.
Yeah. Yeah, even the priest, the way the stuff's set up doesn't give any real predominance to want to go with presence.
Yep, the priests don't want to be all priesty unless it's a special NPC priest.
Yeah.
Then they're
I mean,
I'm
'cause
going to manipulate the masses.
Yeah, I mean, because for me to, it's like brawn. I mean, to be a paladin, it's almost got to be brawn, willpower, and intellect. Because you got to have intellect for some Starcana, and then you got to have willpower for the divine,
and don't
then
forget
brawn to fight.
The annoying having to have points in the lore too.
No. I don't think so.
And to be fair, it's not like you really need the Starcana knowledge.
True.
'cause
You
I
can just
thought it was
fire that stuff all while.
Yeah,
No,
like
but it's
you could get away with just divine and strength.
yeah. But that's what I mean. Like when you use the spells, some of the spells depends on what your knowledge of that spell school is.
It's Starcana here, not lore.
Yeah.
Because Starcana is the career skill with divine.
Yeah,
it's knowledge Starcana.
yeah.
Yeah.
So make sure you put some points in that one.
Right. Well, that's why I went with 3 intellect to have better Starcana. Because
Nobody wants to just throw magic around willy nilly and
gotta
see what
understand
happens.
the magic if I'm gonna use it. You know.
As torturous demons pop out of nowhere, thank you for adding to the board. Your dark overlord says thank you, minion, and calls you by name. I have to go
So yeah.
repent. Show me on the doll where the dark god touched you.
Yeah. But yeah, for neither the priest or that, I mean, it doesn't really behoove you to have a presence. Though you would think they should be talkie.
Yeah.
Because they gotta preach to the people. But I
mean,
guess
those people know well enough to listen to us.
Right. Well, that's just it. I'm using coercion to preach to them. I preach through fear.
I mean, think of it as the priests on the movie Van Helsing. You know, they were priests, they were monks, but they weren't the take you to church on Sunday kind of monks.
Right.
They have knowledge and they have wisdom. They don't need to be very talky.
Yeah, like I said, if you don't do what I tell you, then I'll have to beat you for it.
much strong arm Catholic style motivation.
Right. Exactly.
I'm fresh in from the Crusades and my side didn't win. Prepare for, conquest.
Gonna take the ruler to your back of your hand if you don't listen to me.
Youch.
Also, if you write with your left hand.
Right?
Because you're
There's obviously
enriched.
something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
The left hand is the demon hand. It's only for one thing.
Yes.
The only thing you use that left hand for is to give the demons the poop.
All right.
And the best part is I have 2 great role players that will get to come up with much church shenanigans.
Oh yeah. Well, we will make it quite fun, I'm sure.
I mean, if we want to talk great role play, I can't wait until we do the Fallout game and Eric is there.
Oh God.
Because the way Eric and I play off of each other is the most chaotic fucking thing in the world.
I'm really curious for that one if he's going to start as a robot that was in the vault with you guys, or if
No, he's doing a
gonna
super
be...
mutie.
No,
he
I
said
think he's
robot
going
or
super
mutant.
mutant.
Okay, good.
I think
Or
that's
is he
where
going
he's
to be
leaning.
the first mutant you guys meet when you open the hatch?
Right?
I mean, to be fair, I was also gonna do a super mutant.
God. You guys. Well, at least there's one of us that's smart and can fix shit.
Yeah, Eric.
No, me.
Are you recording that one? Jim?
Yeah. That's going to be our Friday night one.
Yeah, I'm
Excellent.
the vault mechanic, so
Yep. You're the fix-it guy who keeps telling the super mutant to stop using the rifle as a club. It is a rifle. Here's a pipe. Use this as a club.
Yeah.
I filled it with concrete for you.
But it's a rifle. It's a pipe rifle. It's multi-purpose, right?
Stick the RPG at the end of the pipe and hit until it goes off.
Yeah. Because what'd you end up going, Joseph?
What?
What's your character? I forget.
For Fallout?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a super mutant.
Really? 2 of you?
So the poor
Yes.
mechanic is. See, that's good to know. It's gonna make me change things before because I was totally gonna have you guys fight in the vault first. Instead, it's gonna be the mechanic goes outside the vault and sees 2 super mutants beating up on something.
Good
Well-
Lord.
Why can't the 2 super mutants break into the vault along with a whole bunch of super mutants and then discover the power of friendship?
Friendship or vending machine?
You've just said the same word twice.
I
I don't understand.
Oh Lord. At least
And-
neither of you are ghouls, so there's at least that.
And yes, I'm planning your vault to open up 5 years after Fallout 1. So if you want, you could be remnants of the Master's army that just decided to wander off to Arizona and get lost. Because it's not that far of a walk.
Right? I forget.
mean-
Did we choose a vault number?
We have not picked a vault number yet.
Yeah.
We can't start in Flagstaff.
I was thinking of starting, like Flagstaff area or Yuma area.
Oh
Ugh.
God.
I mean, that's where everything goes to die, right?
Well, there's plenty of water and stuff.
Radioactive
Um,
With radioactive E. coli.
right.
water.
Yeah.
Plenty
'Cause
of
there's-
water for those mosquitoes.
Yeah, because there's
Ugh.
plenty of the unknown vaults out there to choose from.
Yeah. And I totally figured for the Fallout game, your vault is going to be a control vault. That
Oh,
the
nice.
Overseer never made it into the vault. So your ancestors decided to make a Underseer committee. And it apparently did not go too poorly with a committee running things until the events that happen.
Right.
So now, since I think we have the only vault dweller that's a mechanic so far, will be the whole you have to go outside and fix the broken thing or find the broken part,
Right.
find the not water circuit.
Find the Holy Grail. Great. Okay.
Where has the MacGuffin ran off? We don't know. But you found some super mutants hitting a thing and decided you needed some friends. They both
All right.
reminded you of your stupid buddies back in the vault.
I don't know how big it is. I might need Braun to carry it.
Yeah.
It's true. So,
James,
Evan,
do we have a game tomorrow for anything?
no, tomorrow is an off day. I'm actually going out to
Wonderful.
Kontiki with some friends.
Ooh, Kontiki, nice.
Kontiki have made many plans to go there the last couple of months, and all of them have fallen through. So this one is not falling through.
Yep. Well, that's good because because the time that we would normally be playing a game, I will be airborne.
Ooh, where are you going? Anywhere good?
Nah, just
Or
flying to
anywhere you can
Atlanta.
speak of? Just gonna have a fun weekend.
Gonna be there for about a week.
Nice. Well, be safe and have some fun.
It's Atlanta. I will do one of those things, and it's really a toss-up.
Have fun then.
Yep.
I mean, if you have to pick, make sure you
You
get your
have to
most out
pick.
of the trip.
All right, folks. It's 12:30 here. I'm
Yep.
gonna sign off.
It's a
Yeah,
good time to
I
bounce
think
out. I
we're
think
all
we got everything all
set.
set for in 2 weeks.
Sweet.
All right. Have a good night.
Right.
Night
Have
all.
a good night, guys.
Glad you could join us, Christopher.
I'm glad you let me come back.
Yeah, of
Well,
course
yeah.
you could come back. We never really thought you left. That was the secret.
Oh. Well, I wasn't.
You
I
thought
just.
you left. We didn't tell you you were still part of the team.
My problem is I can't. I'm in too many games. I can't remember them all anymore.
I
Dude,
understand that. That's why I have my
There is a-
Excel sheet.
there is a calendar
Yep, there's an Excel
on your
sheet
phone, TV.
because
I mean, TV, paper. Sorry.
I
My
think I
brain.
need to post the this month's calendar because I was all late not doing that. It was only on my work and private computer. I'm like, work computer, am I gaming tonight? As Kelly has often said, "Are you gaming tonight?" I'm like, I don't know. I gotta look at the calendar, but I think the signs points to yes. The time is when I need to know to be sure.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the tricky part.
Yep. Alrighty,
Okay.
guys.
All right.
Cool.
Good night.
Night all.
All right, later.